Hi everybody, this is Algebra 2, Lesson 9, and this lesson covers percent word problems. Alright, so we've done these a little bit, but these are going to be a little more complicated. Alright, so the first one starts off with the wood nymphs and the maids gambled and frolicked before the banquet began. If 70% of those present were wood nymphs and 120 maids were present, how many wood nymphs came to the banquet? Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you a different way to work a percent problem. And we're also going to practice on these writing our diagram before we work the program, or work the problem. So we're going to start with our diagram. Okay, and we know that this whole thing is 100%. Alright, and it says we've got 70%. So that's a big chunk right there. Alright, so it says there's wood nymphs, I'm going to use a W, and maids for M for maids. And they frolicked before 70% of those present were wood nymphs, so the 70 is our wood nymphs. And 120 maids were there. So that's 120 is our M, right? So we've got wood nymphs and our maids. There's 120 maids. 70% of them were wood nymphs. How many wood nymphs came to the banquet? So we got to figure out what this number is. No, we got to figure out what this number is. Yes. So what percent would that be? If that's 70%, the whole thing's 100. That means this is 30%. And we just have to find out what 70% is if this is 30%. So the easiest way to do this is if we know a number is 30% is 120, right? We just find 1%. To find 1%, all we have to do is break this up into 30 pieces, right? So we say 120, 120 divided into 30. 4 times 0 is 0, 3 times 4 is 12. So 1% is 4, okay? To find 100%, we would just do 4 times 100, right? Would be 400. So that's going to be our 100%. Our total is 400 of them. 1% is 4. We need 70%. So we can just do 4 times 70. And we should get 280. How many wood nymphs came to the banquet? Alright, so 20. Yep, 280. So that's your answer right there. Why do they use weird things like wood nymphs and gambled and frolicked and banquets and things like that? The reason they do that is so that, like, when you're working some kind of difficult science problem, or you're working with things that you don't quite understand, it doesn't matter. Like, if you get to a math problem on the ACT and it has some stuff that you don't know what they're talking about, as long as you can use these numbers, you can figure out the answer without actually knowing what it is that they're talking about, right? So if they're talking about something a word you've never read before or something, they do that to trip you up. But if you're used to working with stuff that doesn't make much sense, or maids and gamboodled and frolicked and all that nonsense, it doesn't matter. All we're looking at is the numbers and figuring out a percent from those numbers. All right. The harvest was a cornucopian, as it was 120% greater than the last year. So if we have last year is 100%, right? Okay. Plus 120% more, because it's 120% greater. What's our new percent going to be? $220, right? And that's going to be, this year is 220%. It's 120% more, so we added an extra 120%. If the yield was this many bushels, how many bushels were harvested last year? So this year is 140,800 for this year, okay? All right, last year, we got to figure out what that is. So, 220. All right, so all we have to do is take this number and divide it up to see what 1% is, right? So if we've got 220% equals 140,800, we want to find out what 1% is. We just divide by 220. I'm going to try 7 times 0, 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Times 2 is 14. That didn't work out. I need my calculator. Let's try 6 right there. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 2 is 12, 13. There we go. 8. Bring down a 0. That would be 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 2 is 8. 8. There we go. 640 is 1%. Okay. All right. So now we just need 100%. That's easy. Just multiply 1% times 100. And we get 64,000. And that's our answer, 64,000 bushels. Okay, so if it says something was greater, a percent greater, right, draw your diagram like this, where you have how it started, what you added, what your new total is. All right, go ahead and pause the video and work the practice problems, and then I'll come back and work them for you. All right, so hopefully you didn't have any problems working these, and we'll work them together. All right, so 60% of those at the performance were something or other that starts with an N. If 200 present were not neophytes, how many people attended the performance? So we're going to start with a diagram. 60%, so we're going to start with 100%. And then we're going to divide that into 60% right here. The whole thing is 100%. That means this part would be 40%. Okay, so 60% were neophytes. We'll just call them neo. 200 were not. Okay, this is our not pile right there. And there's 200 in here. So 40% is 200. How many people attended the performance? So that's going to be the whole thing. So that means we're looking for what's 100%. Okay. So if 40% equals 200, we need to find out what 1% is. So we just say 200 divided by 40 to get 1%. 8 times 4? No. Let's see. How many 4? 4 times 5 is 20, so that'd be 0. Yep, so 1% is 5. And then to get 100%, we just multiply times 100, which would be 500. So if that's 500 up there, that means if we multiplied 5 times to get 60%, This should be 300. Yep, and if we added together our 300 and our 200, we'd get 500. The answer to that one is 500 people. That's the answer to A. Okay, B. This is one where it increased. Remember how last time it said it was greater. This one says it increased. So production increased, okay, got more by 145%. So we've got, actually I don't like that. Let me draw better. All right, so we've got 100% right here. Okay, if the number of widgets produced this year was that many, how many were produced last year? This is going to be last year. Okay. Then we added another 145%. So plus 145% to our new percent, which is going to be 100% plus 145 would be 245%, and that would be this year. Okay, so where does this number go? It says if the number of widgets produced was this many, how many were produced last year? Okay, so this is 171,500. That means this is what we're looking for, how many were produced last year, okay? So that's what we want to find. All right, so that's the number we're looking for. So we can write this out, 245% equals 171,500. Now we need to find out what 1% is, and then we need to find out what 100% is, and then that'll be our answer. So I'm going to go 171,500, and I'm going to divide that by 245. Let's see. I'm going to try 7. Right there, maybe. 7 times 5. Yep. It's going to be 7 right here. 7 times 5 is 45. 7 times 4 is 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Oh, maybe not. 7 times 2 is 14, 15, 16, 17. Did I write that? Did I type that out right? Let me double check my problem, make sure I did that right. Hmm. 7 times 5, oh, is 35. I multiplied wrong. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 4 is 28, 29, 30, 31. There we go. Okay. So 1% equals 700. Then to get 100%, we just multiply that times 100. Oops. So we add 2 more zeros on, and we get 70,000, and that's our answer. If we multiplied that times 145%, which would be times 1.45, then we would get the number that goes here, and then we would add those two together to get that one. You don't have to do all that, as long as you got that number, 70,000 widgets. I don't care if you didn't make a diagram. If you can do it without the diagram, that's fine. The diagram is very helpful, though, when you're trying to figure out what number goes where. All right, that is it for Lesson 9. Thanks for watching.